What is going on? And welcome to InstaGATOR number 3, where this week will be discussing negativity. So, I'm going live on TikTok. We'll see if anybody chimes in, but negativity is one of those things I could probably sit here and talk to you about for hours upon hours upon hours, but we're probably going to just get into a quick little discussion, something that we can bounce ideas back and forth with. One thing I need you to understand is I may sit here and constantly speak about being positive and have a positive mindset and really just taking life as it comes and trying to find, the old cliche, the silver lining. I'm not positive all the time, right? I struggle with negativity. I struggle with negative self talk. I struggle with all of this, right? And it's something that I constantly battle with internally. But I will say overall, I do try to stay on the positive side. I do try to stay on the, glass is half full, the optimism side. And it's the negative people that kind of surround us and are in our lives. Man, it is extremely frustrating to me. It's frustrating to me when I follow folks on social media. It's frustrating when I talk to my friends. It's frustrating when I talk to family about how negative some of them can be. And I don't think what we realize is that negativity wears on us. Like it impacts us. We take other people's negativity and we compartmentalize it and we eat it and we swallow it. And before you know it, man, your mind starts sitting there and, being overcome with negativity and constantly thinking negative thoughts. And man, it's really no way to live life. It's just not. And one of the things that, I struggle with, especially when I'm going through hard times, is I listen to myself more than I talk to myself. And what I mean by that is we're conditioned by our society, by the people around us, by the news we take in, by everything, to be overall negative, right? We always think the worst. We plan for the worst. We always expect the worst. And when we have internal dialogue with ourselves and we listen to ourselves, we will always side with the negative, right? We will always side with the downside. We will always side with how this isn't going to work. When instead, what we should be doing is talking to ourselves. See, because when we talk to ourselves, we're controlling what is coming out of our mouths. We are, putting thought into the words that are spoken. So a lot of the times when I struggle because I'm listening to myself more than I am talking to myself. So one of the things that I've been working on this year is more positive self-talk. When I hear those negative thoughts creep in, it's funny. I'll sit there and I'll tell them like, hey, dude, shut up. And I'll start speaking positively or how this will work out or, some of the things that I can gain. When I set my goals, I talk to people about not focusing on what you're losing, but instead on what you're gaining. Now, this doesn't take away the negative society that we live in. So with that, you have got to start figuring out ways to combat and push that away. Whether or not it's, hey, hello, how you doing, Benjamin? Thank you for joining us. With that, you've really got to consider pushing away or minimizing or limiting some of the negative things that you take into your life, whether that be through news, whether that be through what you read, whether that be the people that you hang around, and sometimes whether that be with family. One of the hardest things that I had to do was have hello, Elena, how you doing? One of the hardest things that I had to do, honestly, was push away from family members that were being overall negative. And it doesn't mean I cut them off. It doesn't mean I stopped loving them. It doesn't mean I did any of that. But what I did was I started distancing myself. Or whenever they started getting negative, I started getting a little bit more comfortable speaking up and being like, look, man, I'm really not trying to hear that. right? And that upset some people. I had some heated arguments with some family members and friends. I had some heated debates. I'm sure I probably hurt some people's feelings, but it was all because number one, I don't want that negativity in my life, right? And number two, I I want them to stop being that way. I want them to start looking on the bright side. Like, if there's one thing you need to understand, please understand this. Being positive doesn't mean you don't have negative thoughts. Being positive just means you don't allow those negative thoughts to control your life. Huge difference, right? I'm not saying that the world is all sunshine and unicorn sprinkles. We all know that life isn't like that. Life will kick you right in the stomach from time to time. It happens. Like the old cliche saying, one of them is life sucks. Well, yeah, sometimes it does. But that doesn't mean that we got to embrace it and we got to live in on it and we got to, then that's all that life is. No, man. Life is pretty phenomenal. Life is pretty awesome. We have family and friends and things that we can experience, and we have all this other stuff that we can do. And we miss that because we focus on the small pieces of life that suck, right? And I couldn't take it anymore. Man, I can't tell you how many people I put on snooze on social media, how many people I unfollowed, how many people I cut off, because I don't want it in my life. If you are not speaking life and positivity into me, I don't really have much time for you, right? I just don't. And I know that's kind of cold and kind of heartless and maybe even callous to some folks, but if you want to let all these negative folks into your life and you want to let all these negative people kind of keep speaking that into you, feel free, but you're going to constantly struggle against fighting against negativity. I think one of the most frustrating things is it's almost like it's a default setting, right? It's almost like being negative it's become such a norm that it is so widely accepted. And we all know that when something's tolerated, it becomes kind of the standard. And when I take a step back and I look and negativity sells, which is why the news pushes nothing but negativity, negativity, negativity. Negativity sells, right? It sells newspapers. It's clickbait on social media. You read a headline and it's, oh, this and this and this happened. You're like, oh, well, let me read about that, right? Which is why you start seeing, and it's funny, right? You're starting to see kind of a shift, kind of a paradigm shift to where positivity is starting to become a strategy. And I think subconsciously what we're doing is we're starting to get so frustrated and so pissed off and so irritated with the constant negativity that's being shoved down our throat that when we do see something positive, we do see somebody making a difference, we do see somebody going out there and doing something in a positive nature, man, we're starting to click on that, right? And it's the folks that are kind of championing that cause, man, they're starting to gain a lot of momentum. They're starting to gain a lot of steam. You look at people like Gary Vee, who does nothing but pushes positivity, positivity. Now, he's rough around the edges. He cusses a lot. He's harsh. He's to the point. But he pushes positivity. He pushes optimism. He pushes kindness. Man, he has a huge following. Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty's another one. Pushes positivity, pushes development, pushes growth, pushes all of this. And he has a huge, huge following. These are individuals that are starting to shift the paradigm, which is one of the things that, I use all my social media for, whether or not it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, right? It's kind of social media for social change. Social media for social change. And being positive or being, happy or displaying joy or speaking positivity in other people's lives, it's the exception nowadays. It's not the norm. We get so wrapped around and so miserable in our own lives that a lot of times what you see on social media platforms are these little keyboard warriors who want to sit back and just spew hate and spew hate. And honestly has nothing to do with the person on the other side. It's because they're miserable and unhappy with their lives. You know, anytime somebody comments negatively to something I do, or has something to say, or some smart remark, instead of retaliating back, which I kind of refuse to do, uh, I feel sorry for them. I really do. Like, I feel sorry that you are at a point in your life where the only validation or satisfaction you get is to go out there and speak ill of somebody else, right? Hey, look, hi DV. Made it to my post in under usual 6 hours. Look, hey, I told you eventually I was gonna go live, man. So I'm glad you could join us. Um, but yeah, so it's funny to me that there's some individuals out there that are like that are so unhappy with who they are, or maybe where they're at in life, that they will literally go out of their way to make other people feel bad or hurt, or I don't understand how people can get off to stuff like this, but they do, right? Oh, another old cliche: misery loves company, right? And you see that a lot on social media, because on social media, so like I said, right now I'm live on TikTok, right? And I got some folks chiming in, and I got some, like, DV, DV just said, hey, it's because they thrive on other people's pain, and they do, right? They don't want to feel like they're alone. They want to feel like there's other people that are feeling the same way that they are. And that's spot on. That's spot on, DV. Yeah, here's another one. Never Out of Smiles. Dude, I actually love that tag name. Never Out of Smiles. And for the folks that are with me here live on TikTok, I'm actually filming my weekly YouTube video. It's called InstaGATOR. It's where we just get into just a daily, or I'm sorry, not a daily, a weekly rant. Yeah, actually love that tag name, Never Out of Smiles. But I mean, Never Out of Smiles hit the nail on the head. It's, people are brave behind a keyboard because there's no accountability, right? I can be sitting in my mom's basement, or sitting in a place where I'm not happy to be living, type some stuff out, just some vile, just hate-filled comment, kick it off, and there's no accountability. But these are also the same type of individuals that will never say anything like that to your face. They just won't, right? And these are the type of people that, you know, honestly prey on other people that are either chasing down their passion, living out their dreams, chasing down their goals, people that are struggling and trying to overcome. These are the type of people that do things like that. And you need to understand that, one, you need to ignore. Two, you need to disassociate with family, friends, loved ones, whoever that do things like this. Like, you need to cut it off. Life is too short to be fighting the negativity and bitterness of others. Like, trust and believe, you're going to have a lot of negativity and bitterness built up within you. You don't need to take on anybody else's, right? You need to be there for them. You need to try to help them through. You need to try to help them over that hurdle. But you also have to be realistic with yourself. When time comes to cut that stuff off, you got to cut it off. You have got to cut it off. And it's more for you than it is for anything else, right? So I'm a father, I'm a husband, I serve our country in the military. I'm an aspiring motivational speaker. There are tons of things that I am trying to chase down, right? If I allow outside sources and outside opinions and outside negativity to hold me back from that, then I will never be the husband, father, friend, son that I'm capable of being. So if you are in my life and you are trying to spew that into my life, I'm going to cut you off, because my wife needs me to be the best person I can be. My kids definitely need me to be the best person I can be. Um, the people around me, the people that inspire me, that I hope in turn I inspire, need me to be the best version I can be. And anything that comes into my life that pulls me away from that, you got to go. You got to go. And I'm at a point right now in my life where I do not regret or feel bad for cutting people off when they are detracting from my life. I will never feel bad for outgrowing people who had an opportunity to grow with me. I can't. I won't. I won't allow myself to take on that burden because it's honestly not my burden to take on. It's just not. And I think a lot of you out there listening, whether or not it's on TikTok or whether or not it's on YouTube when I go ahead and post this video live, um, a lot of you need to take that advice and really have some honest conversation and dialogue with yourself. Is who are you allowing in your life to breed that negativity that is holding you back from becoming the person you're supposed to be? Um, uh, DV chimed in, it's not worth losing happiness and yourself when others are trying to bring you down to their level. And that's just it. One of my favorite quotes is, forgive me, I can't remember who said it. It's never get in an argument with an idiot, right? They'll pull you down to their level and then beat you with experience. That's pretty spot on. It's funny when I hear it, I laugh to myself, and it's pretty crass and to the point, but I'm gonna tell you what, it's right. It's true. It's spot on, right? People will bring you down to their level and then beat you with experience. That's why I don't chime into people who have negative stuff to say on my social media. The most I might say is, man, I'm sorry. And that's not me apologizing to them. That's me apologizing for them. I'm sorry you have to deal with your life in a way that you feel that you have to come and attack me. Because let's be honest, if you don't like what I'm saying and you don't like some of the content I'm putting out, or you don't like maybe some of my silly videos, man, keep scrolling. Keep on pay me no mind. Because just as you are not impacting my life, I'm really not impacting yours. Just as easy as I can unfollow, unfriend, click past, swipe past, whatever, man, you can do the same with me. If what I'm doing impacts you so much, keep it moving. Keep it moving. That's simple, because I'm going to tell you what, that's what I'm going to do to you. That's what I'm going to do to you. Yeah, but just as a society, the reason I wanted to talk about this, honestly, was, man, we are so just overarching, just so negative, right? With ourselves, with others, with situations. People will come to us with our dreams, and all we'll do is poke holes in them. Oh, I was thinking about maybe trying this. Why do you want to try that? That'll never work out. Man, shut the hell up. Shut up. Let that person chase their dreams. Stop raining on their parade just because you're too scared to take a risk, just because you're too scared to chase after a goal, to chase after your dream. Don't go messing up somebody else's Cheerios. Don't go putting your spoon all up in their chili. If you're not going to encourage them, support them, give them advice, share your wisdom, get the hell out of the way. Get out of the way. Right? I'm telling you, I get really, really, really worked up when it comes to stuff like this, just simply because I know there are so many people out there that allow this negativity to seep into their lives, and then they start worrying about the opinions of others and the viewpoints of others, and they start doubting themselves. And I'm going to tell you right now, self-doubt has killed more dreams than probably anything else in the world. If there's one thing that I'm trying to teach my kids, it is to be confident in what they believe their passions and their goals are. And I refuse to allow anybody to speak into them to hold them back from manifesting what they are meant to be. Period. Now, if they take a wrong path, so be it. But at least they took a path and they realized it was wrong, and then they can pivot and revector. Cool. But don't allow that negativity to start seeping into your life. Don't allow it. Not only that, you want people to start being more positive around you. Lead through your actions. Champion other people. Edify other people. Tell them how great of a job they're doing. Pat them on the damn back from time to time. Maybe if you start doing it more often, people will start doing it more often to you. DV chimed in again. He talks about, I do what I can to help everyone and forget about myself. That's something I need to work on. That's another thing that we struggle with, right? That's another thing that sometimes we focus so much on outside that we forget inside is probably the most important thing. Like I said, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a son. I'm a lot of things to a lot of people, but if I don't take care of me, then I can't be nothing for those other people that depend on me on a daily basis. Right? John C. Maxwell, he was the one that said, "You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give what you do not have." So you need to keep filling your cup. As you are helping others and you are speaking positivity into their lives, do not forget about you. You can't. The second you forget about you, everybody else starts losing. Everybody else gets less of you than what you are capable of doing, right? You have got to speak positivity to yourself. Remember, I said speak, not listen. You've got to speak positivity into yourself as much as you do into others, right? Because people, I'm telling you right now, people will, this is going to be harsh, right? People will suck you dry. People will drain you. People will take and take and take and take from you until there's nothing left. And then they'll move on to somebody else and they'll start taking from them, right? So never, ever, ever forget to give to yourself as well. Give to yourself. You cannot give what you don't have. So I do a lot of leadership development and a lot of talk with leaders. And the one thing I'll tell you is like, leaders, like people will not follow you if you do not have nothing to offer. If you don't pour positivity, positive self-talk, if you are not chasing after things and you're focused on all this negative stuff, people just are not going to follow you. Then all of a sudden you're not a leader, you're just out for a walk, right? Because there's nobody behind you. There's nobody to follow you. There's nobody that you can help bring along, right? Positivity is more than words, it's actions. Positivity is putting a smile on your face and sharing a smile. Positivity is bringing stuff into your life that you know will benefit you and removing the stuff that you know will not benefit you. Positivity is in action. Kindness is in action. The only way to crush out negativity is to drown it with positivity. All right. That's why I follow what I follow. That's why I do the things that I do. That's why I surround myself with the team, the board of directors, as I call them, that I do, is because they edify and speak positivity into my life, which gives me the motivation, drive, and inspiration to keep chasing after the person that I know I should be. Got to stop with this negativity. Have to. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap this up. Good little 20, 23, 25 minute, however the hell long this thing was, right? Good discussion. I want to thank everybody for chiming in on TikTok. Thank you for joining me. We'll be doing this probably weekly to maybe every other week. I usually hop back between TikTok and Facebook Live. But I do want to do more live events and get more interaction and more engagement and to be able to answer some of your questions. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much again for joining me. Again, this is InstaGATOR number 3. Stay tuned. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Linwood Gale, Catalyst of Development. Continue to be a catalyst of development, not just in your life, but in all those around you. Until next week, take care and have a great one.